Hi, this is Dan, and this is Burt Rutan. Burt and his company, Scaled Composites, is famous for building unusual, leading-edge, record-setting planes such as the one pictured here, including Voyager, the plane that flew nonstop around the world. And here's Burt's brother Dick, the man who piloted the Voyager. We're at the airport in Mojave, where Rutan is based and Voyager was built and launched. This is the hallway of the Mojave Air and Spaceport Terminal building. I suppose you could call this the Mojave Hall of Fame. It's not actually called that, but it may as well be. As for me, I'm just visiting a moment before I step out onto the ramp and take off in the Cardinal. I'm here to film some of the local sights, and there's really a lot to see out here. We're in the desert where there's tons of space and very dry air. It's perfect for storing aircraft, so there's a stunning array of unused jumbo jets just sitting there in the outfields. They're huge, but they still seem swallowed up by this vast airport. There! Everything's looking good, and we are moving. It is Saturday, November 12, 2022. This is Mojave Airport, also known as Rutan Field. Just pulling away from the terminal building where I had another cheeseburger at the restaurant. Don't make a habit of eating too many cheeseburgers, but it is the thing to do at an airport restaurant. The restaurant's called, what else, Voyager Restaurant, and it's right there next to the ramp. The burger was perfect and the service was quick and friendly as can be. Off to my right, National Test Pilot School. It's part of what makes Mojave special. This is the only civilian school of its kind in the U.S. They say test pilot course takes a year, and you can end up with a master's degree in flight test and evaluation. Mojave traffic, Cardinal 220, departing 26. An awful lot goes on in Mojave. There's aerospace R&D at the airport, massive development of wind and solar energy all around it, big mining operations, and some of the busiest railroads in the country. Mojave also has ties to two major military research centers nearby, China Lake and Edwards Air Force Base. Speaking of Edwards and Rutan, I happen to have footage of two of Rutan's extraordinary planes at the 2009 Edwards Air Show. Here's the White Knight, built to carry and launch Spaceship One from the air. Spaceship One, not shown here, is the test rocket that precedes Spaceship Two. Spaceship Two, also not shown, is carried aloft between the two halves of this plane, the White Knight 2. Spaceship Two is the one that's meant for space tourism, and for only a cool $250,000, someday, you too can take a quick suborbital ride. Archer takes us right over the town of Mojave. And just outside the town is this vast field of windmills. It is windy and bumpy. And that is a chronic condition here, and that's why all the windmills are here. Now I'm here to film the windmills, and I'll get back to them, but I'm also here to film the gold mine at Soledad Mountain there in the background. We only took off a few minutes ago. You see, the mountain's barely 5 miles from the airport. They've got all kinds of minerals here. This is an old volcanic plug. I think one of the mines is called Silver Queen. That would be a hint as to what they're mining. They actually have gold here as well. I will look it up later, find out exactly what's what. Big holes there. Sort of all over the place. They're all over the mountain, and they're at the base of the mountain too. Paving the mountain down, boring hills at the base. Oh, and another runway. It looks suitable. I'm not tempted though. These monster lanes on the mountain look a lot like landing strips, but don't even think about it. As a pilot, I'm trained to always look for places to put down in an emergency, but I know these are not safe. Some of the big equipment working the mine right now. The dump trucks working down there are 3 stories high and 25 feet wide. The scale of things here is unbelievable. Anyway, here's some background. They've been mining gold and silver here since the 1890s, and there are a number of separate mines, the Queen Esther, the Echo, Golden Queen, Bobtail, and more. Mining stopped in World War II, but restarted just 7 years ago. These days it's called the Soledad Mountain Gold-Silver Project, and it's the only active gold mine in Kern County today. How's this for a segue? Speaking of things that were shut down in World War II but are active again today, I happened to catch this beauty in Camarillo just a few minutes before I left for Mojave. This is the B-25 Mitchell medium bomber whose first flight was in 1940 and, as you'll see, is still flying 82 years later. 82 years is hard to imagine, but I remind myself that the Cardinal is 46 years old now, which I hardly ever think about. By the way, the average age of the fleet of small planes like the Cardinal is around 50 years. Anyway, a unit of the Commemorative Air Force is based in Camarillo, and they keep a good number of historic aircraft in flying condition. I often encounter their planes, like this B-25, as they're coming and going. We're just west of Mojave again, and this is the Tehachapi Wind Farm, also known as the Alta Wind Energy Center. It's here because of the reliable heavy wind that funnels through Tehachapi Pass, and because of the many nearby cities that need its green power. This is one of the oldest large-scale wind farms in the U.S. and the third largest onshore wind farm in the world. There's around 3,400 windmills here, and they're still building more and upgrading others. Larger windmills have steadily replaced the older, smaller ones, which in turn replaced yet older and even smaller ones. The biggest ones here are 300 feet tall, and I won't be surprised when they're replaced by even larger ones. Rosamond traffic, Cardinal 220, maneuvering to the north. We'll be coming around from the south. We're close to Rosamond, a small town 10 south of Mojave, and nearby is the old Tropico gold mine. Like the mines at Soledad Mountain, Tropico started in the 1890s. Its peak year was 1939, but like Soledad, it was shut down in World War II, but Tropico never reopened as a gold mine. By the way, I was surprised to learn that most U.S. gold mines were shut down in World War II because their labor and equipment were needed for more essential materials for the war effort than gold. A little west of Tropico is Willow Springs Raceway. There's 7 tracks here altogether, from quarter-mile ovals to the 2.5-mile Big Willow track. The tracks are reserved for racing organization events and are not open for racing to the general public. I phoned Willow Springs to ask if they have plans to build an airstrip on the park, and sorry, but they said no. I mean, it seems like a natural and exciting combination, but oh well. 40 minutes later, I'm putting the Cardinal away, and I look up and say, what is that? A line of lights in the sky unlike any other. I don't ever remember seeing a flight, that is, a formation, of so many private planes. There's 8 of them, and I'm surprised by the variety of planes too. A light twin, a Mooney, a pair of V-tail Bonanzas, and then 4 RVs. Well, it's almost Saturday night, and this looks like quite the flying party, but I can't tell if it's starting or ending. As for me, this has been the cherry on top of my day of filming. I'll put the Cardinal to bed, head on home, and call it a very full day. And that's my flying journal for the weekend. Thanks for watching.